In this first example, I'll walk you through a small simulation, and the goal will be to try and determine what the final charge on this object is, this neutral object is, as well as how it gained that charge. So I'm going to bring a positively charged rod next to, but not touching, this neutral conductor. While that's there, I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to touch the neutral conductor, I'm then going to remove my hand, I'm going to remove the rod, and the question is, what's the final charge on this object, and can you explain how it acquired that charge? So let's go through step by step to try and see exactly what's going on there. So when we first brought that positively charged rod near the neutral conductor, we polarized it. So in this case, the electrons moved as close as possible. The right side of that object has a more negative charge. The left side of that object now has a more positive charge, even though overall that neutral conductor is still neutral. The next step was when my hand came along and made contact. Now the electrons in my hand have a choice. They can go towards the positive rod or stay in my neutral hand. They are certainly going to choose something more positive. The electrons in the sphere have the same choice, the neutral hand or the positive rod. Doesn't matter how you look at it, all the electrons are going to choose the positive rod, so there's going to be a net flow of electrons towards that positive rod. If while that's occurring, I then remove my hand, those electrons will now move to the other side. I've broken contact. When I remove that rod, those will spread back out, and you now have a negatively charged object. If my hand was still on that, they would certainly leave the hand because a neutral hand is more positive than a negatively charged object. But by removing that ground, by breaking that contact, they're now trapped in there. So I now have a net negative charge. This is charging by induction. I started with a neutral conductor and a charged object, in this case a positively charged object, and I ended with a negatively charged conducting sphere, which satisfies the ending conditions for induction, the opposite charge of whatever the charged object was utilized in the process of charging via induction.